I hurt my hand. It's the 6th of April, episode 335 of the Should I Play This Game podcast. Wait a minute. We're recording on the same day it comes out, Graham Banks?
We are.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what happens when Easter comes along and buggers everything up, basically.
That fucking rabbit. Catch him, skin him, cook him. No, maybe not. Little kids like the Easter Bunny, so let's not. I fucking hurt my hand because it fucking seized up a little bit when I was acting like a dickhead when the music was playing. God damn it. Stupid body. It's been a couple of weeks since we talked it hasn't, because last time we talked into microphones was last Sunday when we did Split Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked into microphones last 3 days in a row while doing and saying dumb things on the internet. So that's always fun. But how's Trix?
Yeah, not bad. Going along all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's getting a... Yep. It's getting a bit cool over here. It's almost down below 20.
Wow.
Hence the long sleeves. Like, what even is this? This is bullshit, bro. Coming off like 40-degree days, and it's like, Anyway. This is ostensibly a video game podcast. Could have fooled the fuck out of me sometimes, but I think from a numbers perspective, it's actually perhaps one of the numerically one of the smaller episodes we've had for a while.
I think it will be, yeah.
I think part of that is a function of we've actually taken 2 weeks between episodes.
Yeah, We're actually trying to get to our actual schedule of 2 weeks between one. So
this is like the first time we've been close to the schedule, and it's the start of April.
Yeah,
at least for 2026. So we're fucking on fire. Yeah. How about? I know that there's some games you've played. There's one game in particular I'm really curious about why or what. Talk about the video games you've played. So let's get to that.
Yep. So, still playing through the Outer Worlds 2. I'm still logging the game a real lot. It's 4.5 hours or so this week, and the last couple of weeks since last week recorded. Over 50 hours so far. I think I'm a bit over, probably 2/3 through the main story, I think, from when I can sort of tell.
Have you had an attempted peace treaty yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that was a couple of main missions ago. I'm back on. Well, I've just started. Not that it sort of gives you a time frame per se, but I'm just doing Tristan's loyalty mission, you could say. Tristan. He's the big arbiter guy with the big hammer thing that he bumps around. So
he's way more eloquent than his massive frame suggests he should be.
Yeah, exactly. So he's a pretty good character. And I'll probably then do... I've got another loyalty mission. I might be Marisol's or Ava's, one of those two. Because I've done Inez's one, and I've done one for Niles.
It's fairly early too.
It's fairly early.
Like the first planet.
Yeah, and I picked up the one for Niles.
Yep.
Although he's sort of like he's got a main loyalty mission, but then it seems to me that a lot of his stuff branches off into other things that you do for him.
Yeah, he has a few sub loyalty missions.
Yeah, but they're not counted as loyalty missions like the main one is. But yeah, you're doing things for him and with him specifically that aren't. Yeah, so there. So I've done a couple more of those. The main one I'm trying to do is I'm on. What's the planet? Praetor, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it's called Praetor. And I'm trying to do something with the rifts that are occurring. There's some sort of find something to do with the rifts. So I'm doing that's the main mission that I'm occasionally going back and progressing incredibly slowly. Yeah. Other than that, I'm still pretty much I'm still enjoying it a lot, but I don't get a lot of time to play. I think you've got to play that sort of in fairly biggish chunks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you sort of don't progress anything because you just if you did one.
Well, it's so easy to spend so much time just going wandering around and fucking about, even though the environments are fairly constrained. like it does the sort of Mass Effect. Well, it does the Obsidian type thing as well because Avowed did it. Is that here's a landmass that is kind of open. You can go wherever you want, but it's sort of smaller, so you can explore it all relatively quickly.
Yeah, and relatively easily too. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not as if you're. It's not an open. I mean, technically it's an open world, but it's not a big one. But there's
not in the truest sense of the term.
Yeah, but there's like 4 or 5 of these environments you go to, and they're all open worlds, but they're all pretty self-contained.
Yep.
So you can do a fair bit in each one of them, and not.
But you can't just. It's not the sort of thing you can casually play for half hour at a time.
Yeah, I mean, you probably need to spend like 2 hours, I'd say, most sessions to actually do a decent amount of stuff. I do like a lot of the what do they call when they pop up? Traits, or what's the other one they do? The negative.
Yeah.
Is it traits? I think they call them, and the negative.
Traits you get positive and negative traits, and sometimes you pick up. How many negative traits have you accepted?
I think I accepted one.
Yeah.
Which was, what was it called? I don't know what it was called, but basically what it meant was that everything in shops cost 20 or 25% more. But every single time I looted an enemy, regardless of what it was, I was guaranteed to get ammo out of it.
Yeah.
So, I can't remember what it was called now, but yeah. There's been some that I've gone, that's kind of I kind of would like to never go at that one, but nah, not really. So I'm fairly picky with which ones that I get.
Oh, yeah.
There's another one I think you can get where which I think I accepted was that, it might have been a skill, can't remember which one it was now, where if your companions are fighting something, and they do a couple of hits on an enemy, and you then hit that enemy afterwards, you'll do more damage, or something like that. I can't remember if that was a trait or a skill now, but yeah, it's just a couple of things like that sort of make the gameplay a little bit more difficult, because it is fairly routine when you're playing that game.
Oh yeah, it's not very difficult unless you forget to heal yourself.
Yeah, and that's the sort of thing where you overheal yourself and you get that what's it
toxicity
called? Toxicity stuff that kicks in. So yeah,
most of my deaths were by misadventure.
Yeah, most of mine were just I've forgotten to heal. I haven't realised I was so damaged, and then you die, or even you go into that gas thing. What's it called? Xyranium or something, whatever it's pronounced. And that if I haven't got my little shield thing up, oh shit! I walked a bit too far into this one, and now I'm dead.
So, I had that happen at least twice. I fell off multiple cliffs, way too high.
Yeah. So I've done that a couple. So that's the main thing that happens is you just But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Pretty great.
Yeah, it is a very good game. I mean, it's not that different from the Outer Worlds, but I do like the when you come back into the game after being away for any period of time, and the Moon character, I think they just literally call him the Moon Man.
Moon Man.
He'll say something that's sort of relative to what you've just done.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty neat. It's actually kind of useful for someone like me who hasn't come back to the game for 3. That kind of triggers what I just did. So it's actually kind of clever.
Which is hilarious because that's basically his only role in the entire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he literally. Yeah, exactly. So it's a pretty neat little thing that they've done that. And as you mentioned at the top of the show, we've played Split Fiction for about an hour and a half or so. We've finished. One main mission or 2 side stories?
Yeah, we've officially crossed over into the back half, apparently.
So I think we did 1 main mission and 2 side stories, I think is what we did.
Sounds about right.
I think it's what we did. And we're now back in... What are we back in?
Fantasyland.
We're back in Zoe's world.
Dragons.
Dragons and stuff, yeah.
Something with dragons and shit.
That game is really... Like, the story is really good about that. In terms of getting those 2 characters to do what they're doing. I think, as you mentioned at the end of our last recording of that game, is that the playing of it is a little frustrating. There was one puzzle we did in that video that we could not figure out what we had to do for it, and the game didn't actually, like a lot of those games will have, especially you've got characters like. It wouldn't matter how many characters, you've got 1 or 2 characters that are sort of quote unquote helping you, even though you're controlling them. and they'll just say some line of dialogue that says, "Oh, we should try and do X. We
Yep.
should try give you hints why they're doing it," and that didn't happen. And we're going, "How the friggin' hell do we get past this bit?"
I think it ended
So
up just being random dumb luck that we figured it out.
maybe, but I
Kinda.
think kind of. I mean, there was still a lot of trial and error with what we had to do. And I'm still not really sure exactly how we did it, but we did it. If that makes sense. So
Oh, I know eventually how we did it, but the fact that it took as long as it fucking did to get there
yeah,
shows that it wasn't particularly well explained.
yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, that's what I'm getting at. Like
Yeah.
it just didn't. It didn't explain it particularly well. Nothing. Yeah, just nothing explained it.
Oh.
And um,
There is a
and
part of me that really wants to try the ultra fucked up platforming challenge.
what?
But
What are you talking
there's a
about?
massively messed up platforming challenge that, like, there was a video recording of Joseph Fares at the end of it congratulating the first people who got there.
I've no idea. Yeah, no idea what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's buried somewhere towards the end, I think.
Oh, okay. That's the thing. I mean, I struggle with games that have that like platforming games like in this third person because
Mm.
I can't get depth. Like not depth isn't quite the right thing to describe. I just can't get it if I've jumped too early, jumped too late, or whatever. And so I struggle with that a fair bit. But I'm still digging that game a lot, and hopefully we'll get back into that schedule as well and knock it off in maybe 4 or 5 more episodes. I don't know. Based on what
Yeah,
we've done,
that's about roughly what it should take us.
if we've done 4 so far, we should be, and we're halfway through. All things being equal, we should do 4 to finish it off.
Mm.
The last game that I played, probably the one that puzzled you the most
Yep.
was Tom Clancy's The Division 2.
What the fuck?
Haven't you not read? They've put out a massive amount of content for this thing. Massive amount. In the last couple of weeks. So that's
in the last couple of weeks. I didn't realize there was a bunch in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they've done new content. They've doing like a... You can see that it was out in 2019 or 2020 or whatever on Google Stadia. That's the thing. Sorry.
Not anymore, it's not.
But it's like 5-year anniversary kind of stuff, and it might have even been 10-year anniversary of the first game as well. When was the first one put out? Curiosity. I'm curious when the first one came out.
Oops, I accidentally wrote it as The Divisions. It was... Oh, for fuck's sake. 2016, 8th of March, 2016.
Yeah, so it was a 10-year anniversary of The Division.
Mm.
It was a whole bunch of content. So it was, so, yeah, and that game's got an absolute bucketload of stuff in it now, as you can kind of...
Yeah, that would actually probably be quite the different game.
Yeah, and
that's
kind of why I've jumped back in, because I did enjoy Division 1 a lot, enjoyed Division 2 a lot when it came out.
You played a fuckload of the Division 2 on console.
Yeah. And that's when I sort of started seeing the stuff coming out. I thought, well, okay, that game has obviously changed an awful lot since I played it last on any platform.
Mm.
And based on what they'd sort of done, I thought, okay, is there anything... Is this still good for solo players? Because that's the thing, I'm not playing it with anybody. And I think for the most part it still is. I've only just gone back into it, as I've only played for 2.5 hours or so. The 4 achievements that I got all came through from some cross progression from Ubisoft. So I just fired up under Steam and all just popped in them, they popped immediately.
Oh.
So I think I played it for about 5, 7, 8 hours on the Ubisoft Connect's platform.
Yeah, because we were doing video of that.
Was I playing? It must have been from when we played that.
Yep.
When I opened up Steam, they were just the same ones, just what came across. So,
but
I've played it. I've started a new character and I've started from the beginning, mainly to get on boarded again. That kind of makes sense. Yep. With what they've done. So, I'm still playing through the campaign, quote unquote. I still think that game looks real damn good considering it's 6 years old. Yeah, I mean, I've always liked the gunplay of that series a lot. So they've done 2 expansions for Division 2.
Yep.
Story-based things. So there's a battle for was it something Warlords of New York? When actually goes back to New York for the scene of the first game, and there's also a Battle of Brooklyn DLC as well.
Yep.
But they've done a lot of season pass stuff that adds a bunch of stuff to it as well, and each one of those adds new stuff in. So I think they're on season 8 of that. I think it was when I looked at it earlier.
That sounds about right.
And they've got these classified. They've got all this new side stuff you can do in it. So it's really just going back into it to see what a game that's still a live service game as it is.
Yeah.
And has it changed a lot to the point where it's not really what it was from when it is like what it is now, sort of thing. Like how different is it? And they do like when they announced all this stuff. As I said, it was about a month ago now. They had a fairly big spike in players.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find out. So they had the just going to Steam D. Where is it? Chance, there it is. So they basically set new records for players in that game.
There you go.
From when they announced all this stuff. So there's a real lot of players. Like 28,000 is not a lot of players. That's what the peak was 28 days ago. Now it's still peaks around 18,000, but
it's better than a fucking developers of High Guard would have fucking killed for that kind of number.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as I said, it's not a real big, but that game's been out for so long on other platforms that's where most of those players are. But I mean, it's obviously had an effect on bringing a lot of players in, which is pretty neat. So yeah, I'm just playing through it to see what that game is in 2026, basically. It's kind of like when I used to go back and play, and I still go back and play it a fair bit. Is the Wildlands Ghost Recon Wildlands?
Yep.
Play that multiple times because it's just a game you can go in, tune out, and just play.
It's a comfort game.
It's a comfort game. It's a cozy game with shooting. So,
I don't think you'll ever find anyone calling Ghost Recon Wildlands a cozy game.
No, but that's what I said with shooting.
It's fucking good though.
It's cozy, it's very nice, it's cuddly, then you shoot them. Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why it's on the list because I'm just curious what that game is in 2026. Bunch of stuff's been announced for it. They've got a new thing coming out called, which I think might have already just started. It's called like Rise Up or something. It's like their expansion, not their expansion, but their the next what do they call? I don't even know what they call these things. It's not a DLC. It's like next...
Division 2 Rise Up. Yeah, escalation, prototype gear, new modifiers.
Yeah, I think
although this was posted on April 1st.
So I think it's their season name. I think is what they call these. This is a season. They just give their seasons a name. So yeah, so there's obviously a bunch of stuff to it. So yeah, but yeah,
there's there's a decent amount of content on that thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in it, and that's what each of those things they've done. That's what they bring to the table each time, is they add all this other side stuff plus gear plus whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what I just was curious what that game was in 2026 because I liked a lot of it when I played it back in 2020, 2019, whatever. So that is why it's on my list.
It may not
go on every week that I play it, but it's going to sort of I'll swap it between it and Outer Worlds probably.
There you go. So. I need to keep harassing a friend of mine to get a better graphics card in his computer because we tried playing it co-op from the start, but his graphics card is not very good. So it was running like an absolute dog and it looked like shit. So I'm like, hurry up and fucking stop piss fighting around and get a new graphics card. He's like, I'm not spending $4,000 on. I'm like, what are you doing? But yes, not all of us are idiots like me. Nate. All right, cool. So me. So I went back into Galactic Vault. Turns out I mentioned last time we did one of these that I wasn't getting blueprints for the new guns dropping after completed runs. The developer confirmed that was a bug.
Oh, good. Excellent.
So, the day that got patched, I actually had someone come out and fix the air conditioning because my air conditioning control panel, I couldn't select vents to open. But one of them was just opening, like was just turning itself on.
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck? So I ended up taking the day off so that he could come out. He was on time. He was here for 6 minutes. He left.
That's
So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm
Good.
playing this for the rest of the day. And I literally just played for Galactic Vault for the rest of the day. And got basically done with it. Some of the weapons that get unlocked are really quite great and are pretty fun to use. The top level pistol that you get, you unlock it for completing the hardest difficulty run with a pistol. It basically fires off two homing mini rockets, and just does an absolute metric fuck ton of damage, particularly when you start dropping a bunch of buffs on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was super satisfying and really fun. And then, it's got just over 11 hours. I've got the rest of the achievements I haven't unlocked yet, so 9 of them are sub 3% completed and have just a ridiculous amount of grind to actually get them. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. It's really fun though. It's not as good as Dead Zone Rogue, because that game is, I think, in a class on its own for the roguish first-person shooter. There is new content being dropped for it this coming week, as well as it going into a bundle with a game called Seth, which is like an Egyptian set first-person shooter roguish type experience. So I've got that on upcoming games. I'm on a wish list. So that I'll probably be able to get that cheaper, and then I'll check out some of the new content in this too. Because why wouldn't you? Rodwood. This came out as a shadow drop on a Nintendo Direct at the start of last month. It's been in early access since April of 2024, and it's a Clay sort of beat like it's sort of like Clay's take on the Castle Crashers format almost, but more of a roguish type spin to it, in that you get like as you clear out these different rooms, you have choices for which path to go, which will tell you what reward you get at the end of it. Because it's a Clay game, it is fucking beautiful. They are probably among the best 2D animators. If people remember Mark of the Ninja, that game looked fucking phenomenal. I was a little sad. Like, I'd played it on video, and I wasn't going to talk about it on the podcast, because I don't really talk about games I play on video, because otherwise it would just exponentially increase the list of games I talk about. But then I kept I just kept coming back to it. And I actually ended up getting past one of the main issues I had, in that some of the challenges... that's not what I'm talking about. So you get a bunch of challenges for mostly the weapons. You do them and you get currency for them that you can use in different places. A lot of them relied on combos, like building up to 75, 100 hit combos, which wasn't too bad, except the combo timer just goes, hey, check this out, get fucked, and would elapse really quickly. Like, enough for you to dodge out of the way, and by the time you come back to hit them, that's it, combo timer gone. But there was a meta upgrade that unlocked after you beat the second or third boss, that allowed you to increase that timer as well. So that sort of got rid of all that main issue, because I played that 18.8 hours there. That was in 7 days. So I've got 3 achievements left in it. All of them are for weapon, like maxing out weapon skills, or maxing out the sort of combo entries for 3 weapons that I'm kind of on. There's plenty of end-game stuff to do beyond achievement. A lot of it is replaying previous levels to unlock the boss weapon variant, which seems to be in place for all of the weapon types. Which, no, that's a lot of repetition and a lot of playing it that I don't really want to do. Like, I really enjoyed the time I had with it, but to then triple that time just to grind out all these weapons, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I really enjoyed playing it, looking at it, obviously. Like, it looks incredible. Playing it is a really fun one of those beat-em-up games. Not quite as scrolly as like a Cosmic Invasion or the Ninja Turtles one. It's doing something a little different than that. There's not much actual story to it. There was an explosion in the forest. It set all these monsters called the Rot free, and you're trying to figure out how to stop them. And you basically do that by just punching things a lot, or stabbing them with a spear, or smashing them with an axe. You have like volleyball things. You throw the ball at it, and it'll bounce back to you. You just go bam, smack it back at them, which is pretty fun. There is some further development involving what is the main character, because you're kind of just a faceless cipher. They don't even call you by a name.
Mm-hmm.
You're just Hunter, because it can be 4 players. So why would they try and give you a name? So there's a main guy at camp that is the sort of main protagonist, but he just flies this helicopter that drops you into the levels. It's pretty boilerplate stuff. The missions or the levels are actually really quite short for the most part. You can get them mostly done in less than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Which is another one of the appealing factors, is that you can get it done and you can make progress in a short period of time. So the grind to build up crafting resources or what have you, or to complete some of the level-based challenges, because there's a lot of different like levels of challenge. Like there's level-based ones, weapon-based ones, and they all have different currencies attached to them. And you can also pretty significantly change the build and how your character plays based on the available buffs that you get. So that makes it really quite neat to play. And there's the meta upgrades in camp. There's crafting in camp. You do gardening by planting seeds and getting resources out of that. For some reason, you can craft a bunch of shit that you just put in as base decorations. But all of it has a first-time crafting bonus in that you get the main form of currency.
Okay.
So my camp, by the end of it, I crafted almost everything, only laid about a third of it to half of it down, and still my camp just had just endless amounts of shit everywhere. Clay is fucking magnificent at the hand-drawn art style. So even at the height of the annoyance I was feeling with the combo time and stuff, I was still really enjoying what I was playing. I don't think it's better than Mark of the Ninja. That is still their high watermark.
No, for sure.
It is Clay's second best game, because there was Shank and Shank 2. They were fine for what they were. I haven't really played a lot of Don't Starve.
Yeah, I'm just looking through, because when Clay came out, I thought, oh yeah, I remember them from a way back. So I'm just checking something. They published the Stanley Parables. They didn't make that game. Which is surprising to me.
I didn't realize they published that.
Yeah, they published it with somebody else, but yeah, they published that game. But yeah, they've had quite a fairly long career, for the want of a term, for a company like that.
They've been going for quite a time. Like Don't Starve has sort of kept that company afloat in a lot of ways too.
A lot of ways, yeah. So, so they watched some Mark of the Ninja. You can't technically buy anymore, the original, because they remastered it about 6 years or 7 years ago. So you can only buy that one. But I'm trying to find out when Mark of the Ninja came out. It must have been 2014, 15, but
I want to say 12.
You want to say 12?
2012 or 2011? 2012.
2012. Okay, so it was further back than that. Yeah, so that's
Xbox 360.
Was that an arcade, Summer of Arcade game?
It was an XBLA game. I think it was a Summer of Arcade.
Might have been a Summer of Arcade game, when that was a really neat thing that Xbox did back in the day.
Oh, the Summer of Arcade was dope.
It was amazing, yeah.
I just realised that I'm on the screen now. Where's it actually? Oh, it doesn't have what other games was in the Summer of Arcade with it. Bummer.
But
it still looks remastered is really cool though, because it's got an extra little for lack of a better term, DLC, hour or 2 hour long episode at the that you play.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Which is a neat little side story thing.
They also did Invisible Ink, which I think you enjoyed from a while back.
I played a little bit of Invisible Ink. That was Austin Walker's.
Austin Walker's big thing from that year, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I respect that man has the intelligence that I will never be able to even aspire to, let alone eloquently express. Which is probably part of the reason why I thought Invisible Ink was pretty neat, but I only played like an hour of it. But yeah, Rotwood's pretty good.
Yeah.
And Clay's pretty great too.
Yeah, no, as I said, the very good output from their side of things. But yeah, no, interesting.
I went under the island. To 8.5 hours. There is the hour count. I finished it. Not as much time as I thought I was going to spend in it. I did get the achievement for exploring and getting revealing 100% of the map. There are a lot of encounters and a lot of sort of other pathways and sort of secret things I didn't quite get because trying to actually figure out how to get them. And I was enjoying the level of exploration I was doing and going through the narrative. And once I hit the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm good. It's sort of a faux retroalized Link to the Past in some regards. And and you can see in the top right-hand corner, for those on the podcast video version, you can see the items that are assigned to X and Y. There's a bit of Legend of Zelda in that you have to keep going into the inventory to assign different items to those buttons.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you'll switch items out a couple of times in a certain area. It's like, fuck. So you are Nia, who is this girl here. She comes to, what is it? Seashell Island with her college professor / researcher parents. And she's bummed out because this island is in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing to do, no concerts or anything like that. So she's upset. And then she runs into a girl called Avocado. Don't ask me, like, there seems to be I can't specifically remember other examples, but I think a lot of the characters in this game seem to have food-related names. It's really weird. So she meets you and goes, hey, this is all in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Okay.
Here's this neat little altar. Please don't touch it. And Nia's like, oh, what's this? And touches it, and then everything just goes and falls out. Like the ground collapses under her, and she's like, oh, shit. So she figures out that bad things are happening to the island. So she has to try and fix it. And the dude who told the ancient progenitor race, the only one left, he's like, you need to fix it. There's this special chest behind me. It'll give you a weapon that'll help. And it's a hockey stick. And there's a note in the chest because someone took the sword and was like, took the sword, needed it, left his hockey stick. Cheers. The story's pretty basic and other than what I've just said, I've forgotten most of it. Outside there's a heel turn at the end. And it's actually, I think, the first of two overt heel turns that I've had in games this week, which is really, really weird. So there's a really weird, and Avocado isn't the one who takes the heel turn, but she goes quite nasty towards Nia at some point for some reason that I don't know why. Outside of maybe she's still pissed at her because she said, don't touch the shrine, and then Nia touched her because she's a city-based idiot who doesn't understand no. You do get some pretty neat scenarios as you're going around trying to fix the island to stop. So the island's sinking.
Okay.
And you're trying to figure out how to stop that. So you end up in a cooking contest because one of the main prize of the cooking contest is one of the 4 gears you need. Because of course it is. And then you go to this snowy area where you need to help a bunch of penguins who can disguise themselves as household objects for some reason. And there's a cereal factory that they have in their little town, but it's been taken over by cereal-loving pirates. And the penguins are like, can you help us, please? So you have to deal with the pirates and tell them to piss off and things like that. It plays really well. It feels like it does bring back that sort of semi-nostalgic Super Nintendo era Legend of Zelda vibe. Or at least what I think of as that, because I didn't play a massive amount of Link to the Past, but Link Between Worlds on the 3DS I played through, and it has a real similar vibe to that too. The map is quite nice and mostly functional. You can't put pins in it though to remind you of areas to go back to. So that's kind of a piss off because obviously, like, if much like the search action Metroidvania style, you get abilities and things like that help you in other areas that you can go back to. But if you can't remember where they are, you either are digging around the internet or you're mindlessly wandering trying to find these locations. Like there was a rock who was getting me to answer a quiz about the inhabitants of the island, and I kept getting the answers wrong because I couldn't remember them, and I can't remember where that was. So I was like, fuck it. It is a good time, particularly like it's really nice and expressive art style. It's pixel art, but it's not this. You can't just lump all pixel art games in the same basket. I feel like because there's a massive varying degrees of it. It is very nostalgic for the Super Nintendo. I don't think the puzzles are too taxing. I didn't need to look anything up insofar as being able to complete some of the puzzles. Like the fast travel system is kind of a mix of sort of like a push block puzzle and columns, in that you push blocks around to make them line up, which when you do that, it unlocks the fast travel point. You're like, yay, I can go in this underground fast travel area. Which is kind of neat. I don't know. It does seem to respect your time. And it's pretty great. $29.50, some might argue maybe a smidge too expensive. But I think for the quality of what they've produced here, gameplay-wise, this lady's pretty great. Like, she loves blowing shit up, so that's where you get a bomb bag from. Which is pretty neat. I think the $29.50 I think is worth it. Perhaps a game that's not necessarily worth it. Grind Survivors. Does the name of it tell you that it's an ass game? Because it pretty much should. I think it's almost an legally actionable clone of Warhammer in what's going like aesthetically, because these dudes really do look like some Warhammer Space Marines. You get guns, and it aims and shoots at guns. Or aims and shoots at enemies and demons to, I don't know, to clear areas and beat the boss. Like,
it's one of those games then.
It is hell of one of those games.
I mean, there's like that genre, if that's what it's going to be, is what can you do with it now? Because that's the basic of it.
That's the problem for me with a lot of these games is I really like Vampire Survivors was a fantastic proof of concept and was fucking incredible. Almost everything that has like chased it that seemingly is successful in the community are games that are basically just clones of it, where all you're doing is moving around and that's it. Like the ones I find, like Zombie Rollers from last year was really interesting to me because it had that, but there was also other components to it. Like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor is fucking fantastic because you've got the mining element as well as the movement. Whereas this, you just are moving the enemy, like moving yourself around. So I find it so fucking boring after, like I got 2 hours in and I was like, fuck this. Because I was just bored. Like you occasionally stumble across buff altars, which you get those by standing in a circle for a couple of seconds. And that's it. There's nothing really to do. Like you can feed weapons into other weapons to increase their rarity level and damage level and all that sort of deal. But much like Soulstone Survivors, which a lot of people crap on still, is about, it's fucking amazing. No, it's not. It's fucking boring. You just, God, motherfuckers. Like it's neat to look at. The guns are pretty cool. Somehow this is, I was about to say this is somehow in Japanese. It's not. It's the little buff icons that are on the guns. I was very bored. And also there's an extent to which like these are legendary tier weapons, the sort of brownie. Don't ask me why they made legendary tier weapons the same color as basically human shit. But like they did quite well on the first difficulty. How the fuck are they going to be effective when you start going up in difficulty levels? When shit just becomes, okay, they're not any smarter, they just have a much bigger HP pool. So I got bored with it and uninstalled it. Moving on. Sealed Bite Extended. Apparently this is an extended version of a game called Sealed Bite, funnily enough. A very short search action Metroidvania game came out this in March.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a post on Reddit that said like 13 or 14 Metroidvania games came out in March. And I bought like half of them at least because I'm an idiot. So I played this one because it's quite short. Has a really nice art, like pixel art art style. This does it really well because you also get like fake reflections in the water.
Neat.
And the fake reflections can be really good because you might have, it doesn't show it here, obviously, but let's say there was a secret room behind this wall.
Mm-hmm.
You might not know unless you ran against it, but sometimes the water reflection will show an item in there.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
So you go, oh shit, that's wow, and walk in and there's an item. I'm torn on this thing because it's short. It's mostly fun to play, but I have some real misgivings about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's borrowed a lot from Celeste. Artistically, there's definitely some borrowing there. For as nice as the pixel art is, I think it's a little bit samey because there's 4 environments and you're in them for a relatively decent period of time each.
Mm-hmm.
The music, I did not like. It took me half an hour to 45 minutes to go, I'm going to put a podcast on so I can drown out this music. And there's sort of a find yourself soul-searching narrative to it. It's not just that because you're trying to find your family.
Mm-hmm.
There is combat here, which Celeste doesn't have. And the platforming, between the platforming, there's some escape sequences that have some really, not necessarily fully complex, but some more complex platforming elements. It's not as tight as it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as responsive as it needs to be. I had multiple times where I think this might be an issue with the animation or me reading the animation, but it seemed like I was able to jump. I'd press the jump button, nothing came out.
Mm.
And I'm like, either the animation, I'm not quite landed yet, or something else.
Mm.
And some of them were just really trial and error that fucking annoyed the shit out of me with very little time to react as well. The other problem is the attack you've got is like a dash attack.
Mm.
And it relies on like lock on or auto lock on. And when you're fighting a boss that shoots a bunch of projectiles, sometimes you'll accidentally target the projectile instead of the boss and get hit. And then there's no hit invincibility, after you get hit. So you can just accidentally bounce off, let's say, 3 or 4 shots and lose multiple hits of health, which is kind of a fucker.
Mm-hmm.
It just made, like, there's elements to it that just made it more frustrating than it needed to be. Like, I was, like I said, I'm sort of torn on it because I'm 50-50. It's kind of a 50-50 split. Like, half the time, it's really fun. The platforming feels great. The the exploration mixed with the combat elements of your little fodder enemies is really cool. And then you get to the, like, escape sequences or boss fights, and it's like, hey, check this out. Get fucked.
Mm.
And then you go, oh, and then you end up sad. $14.50 for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You'll know whether or not that's really of interest to you. I'm glad I played it, but I wouldn't say it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of games that are fucking fantastic, god damn it! Keep on Mining Worlds. I played the first Keep on Mining on stream a few weeks back, not knowing or forgetting that the sequel was coming out in like 3 weeks. So it came out. You can see it's $8.20 right now in Australia. Came out on the 30th of March. I have put just shy of 7 hours in it, and I've gotten all the achievements. This is what it is. There's a flat environment. There's rocks.
What are you doing in it?
See how there's the arrow pointer with a circle?
Oh, yeah.
You move that over rocks, and pickaxes will mine the rocks.
So it's an idle game of sorts?
It's not idle. You can't let it play itself. You don't make much progression. It's definitely an incremental game, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was hitting, like, it's got 23:78 and the timer up in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I had the timer to about 45 seconds, and by about 35 seconds, like in the last environment or two, I had 1.5 billion gold ores.
Okay.
And it was, the numbers keep going up. It's so good. You get a bunch of different ores. There's a bunch of different gems that you can use for different reasons. The difference between this and the first one is that this Worlds has worlds
Mm-hmm.
that you unlock as you level up. So there's the purple goopy world, there's a lava world, and they get bigger, have different rocks. Sometimes you get new ore types on those environments that you can use to craft new pickaxes, strengthen pickaxes, get new items in the market, things like, and unlock items in the skill tree.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty decently sized skill tree. And sometimes you can like go, let's say 3 or 4 like 30 to 40 secondish runs, and then come back and you upgrade a couple things. There's the crafting of pickaxes at the anvil. There's like 14, top of my head, different pickaxes. And as you can see on the slide in the screenshot, the time, the damage, the crit chance, crit damage on the rocks, and the circle size.
Okay, yep.
And I had a buff that was increasing the circle size with every second, to the point where, like the later levels, I was covering at least 25% of the map space with the circle, and it was fucking awesome. So like, and the different worlds will have different environmental objects. Again, this is something that at least I didn't get to in the first one. So this desert environmental biome that's in this screenshot has little cacti on it. Sometimes the cacti, I'm pretty sure you don't hit them. I'm pretty sure it does it on a timed function. It just explodes and shoots needles everywhere, and that will shatter rocks around it and give mine you ores. There's a snow biome where you bash on, you can one-shot little ice blocks, and they shatter and break all the ore around it as well.
So you're trying to clear each block, like that's like a.
You're just getting as much as you can.
8x8 grid in what, a time frame, or when it's all gone?
So
what's
it's 30 seconds.
Okay.
Or you up the timer as you go up the skill tree, and you're just trying to mine as much as possible. You can set perks on the skill tree that will respawn rocks automatically every so many seconds. So like you would have, like as I was getting towards the end, there's just this endless stream of different rock ores going up in the top left-hand corner. There's endless gem streams going to the bottom right-hand corner, different rocks spawning all over the place, a whole bunch of different intergalactic different, like you can see this beam coming down in this screenshot. That beam will convert like the smaller rocks here that have just some of the mineral ores in them. The beam will come down and convert them into solid ones.
Okay.
So it's just this really neat, just constantly but it is the ultimate fugue state game.
Yeah.
To the point where I was telling a mate of mine about it when and he downloaded and bought it, and he's like, yep. I'm like, fuck it, right? And it's fantastic. And for $8.20, holy shit, it's worth it.
Yeah, I think you've convinced me to have a look at it. So yeah,
it's fucking good. Like I booted it up on the Saturday version of Friday Night Fun, and I may have accidentally played it for over an hour and a half. Which I'm not going to sit here and probably tell you that's the most interesting thing to look at, but goddamn, it was just. And it was like every couple of minutes was like, I wasn't even saying much. I was just sitting there watching, just moving the mouse around and go, whoop, level up, yay! But it's so goddamn good. Like every other level you get when you level up, it gives you like a mastery book. So when you unlock a new world, you pick like perk cards, and you upgrade the talent card to change the effect on it. So when I had, for example, the mining circle expanding over time, that was a perk card.
Okay. Yep.
And you can have, where's the pickaxe screen? There. See where it's got equip bonus?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So you can get a perk, and as you upgrade it, you get one more every level, where you can share the perks on the pickaxes.
Okay. Yep.
So I had it to like 12. And I was using 12 different perks from the different pickaxes and applying it to the one I was using.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, yep.
So it's just confluence, just a confluence and level upon level upon level of just, and that's fucking great. Speaking of Neo, speaking of great, I know what I meant. Neo 3 is still pretty great. I'm still plodding away. Like, there's not a great deal more to be said right
Yeah.
now other than, hey, Neo 3 is pretty fucking good, eh? Although I'm seeing, like, people on Reddit going, Neo 3 is good, but Neo 2 is better. I was like, okay, cool. More power to you. I really like the open world of Neo 3. Yeah, I'm going to keep chipping away at that. At some point, I will probably start Resident Evil Requiem and, like, I don't know, some of the other 30-odd games I've got in the current backlog shelf on Steam. That's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger every week. But that's my games.
Cool.
Keep on mining. It's fucking good. Anyway. It's been so long since we've done it. Upcoming games beginning of the end or nah?
Upcoming games first. Next.
Upcoming games first. Hey, it's April. It's a new month. That means new video games. And because we're really smart, or me, well, I'm not taking the sole blame on this one. But we both forgot to do upcoming games last podcast. So some of these that are on here are already out, such as Temtem Swarm, which got its 1.0 release. I've got that. That is literally on my backlog, so I will play that at some point. An arse game, but Pokemon. So hopefully that's cool. I played the demo ages ago and I thought it was neat. So we'll see what happens. Clean Up Earth is already out. Have you got this yet?
Nah, probably won't, but yeah.
I have seen reviews of it that, like, the promise was there, but maybe the execution didn't
Yeah,
quite
I think
land.
from when I played the demo last month before now, I can't remember when it was. I think the demo might. I had to go back and look to see if the game's more fleshed out now, but it just seemed to me a bit like you were saying with Grind Survivors. It just seemed like it was just boring, just one note boring stuff. But yeah, so might have to look at what that full release is now to see what it got in the full game. But yeah, but no, haven't got it yet.
All Will Fall, which is a builder game you talked about a few months ago.
I bought that this morning. Haven't played it yet, but I bought it this morning.
Wonderful. I was figuring that was happening at some point. Sort of building on the ocean with some physics to it.
Yeah, like it's really neat. Like you can build. Go to the second last screenshot. So you see how that platform the guy's standing on?
Yep.
If you've not got the right strength in it, that will basically fall down if you try and build it. So it's really neat in the concept there. You can see the red and green highlighting where weak points are and stuff like that. But
not a lot of builders really do that physicsy type interaction, do they?
Not really. Not a lot of them do. Quote unquote realism as a part of their thing. Yeah. You just bolt on what you want to build and it just sort of stays there. As this is basically saying, no, you've got to have.
What was the one that was like you're building on a blimp in the sky?
Airborne something, which is coming out in 1.0 very soon, actually.
That had a bit of that to it.
Yeah, a bit of that too. Had a little like weight and stuff for the
Yeah, like you could accidentally sink and crash fucking blimp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that getting a 1.0 soon? Is it?
I think I read that early. In fact, now you've reminded me. Keep going, and I'll keep looking it up.
Nate, People of Note is coming out this week. Basically, turn-based musical RPG. So, hey, remember how Clair Obscur Expedition 33 was like a French version of a JRPG?
Mm-hmm.
This is like a Western version with fucking guitars and shit. That can't be not good, right? And there was what was the game I played last year? That was like a pixelated version of an RPG with the musical elements to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an Annapurna joint. Although what Annapurna Publishing means these days might be a little bit different than it did. Samson, which is a sort of melee-focused open world game with driving stuff in it as well. Looks really cool. Fuck knows if it sticks to landing. I hope so because it looks really neat. Dark Switch, another builder. This time around a tree.
Yep. Yeah, basically that's what it is. That's as I was saying, we've had this kind of conversation before. Like these builders, like there's a shitload of them, but you've got to have something that sort of distinguishes your building mechanic.
The gimmick that hooks.
The gimmick that hooks, because they've all got to have buildings, you've all got to have power, you've got to do X, Y, and Z. But yeah, this one builds around a tree. There's one from a while back, as I said, the bulwark, this airborne one that's in the air. There's stuff like that. So all the ones that like the sort of thing like that, you've got to have some hook, for want of a better term, that
Mm.
makes it different enough that makes it worth playing, sort of thing.
Oh fuck! I didn't realize this one was being made in Kazakhstan. That's fucking cool. Minos, which there is a checkout of the demo for that up on the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Did you end up getting to that Home Alone Christmas one they put out?
No.
Nah, I downloaded it, but I haven't touched it yet. That looks really, really neat.
Yeah, that looks really cool. So,
and it's a Devolver joint,
mm.
which you can't say that's a Devolver game anymore because it's not fucking obvious anymore. Replaced, which has looked fantastic for years.
Yeah, basically.
It's finally coming out. You played the demo.
Played the demo a couple of weeks back. Yep, it really.
You are quite happy with that.
Phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
So that'll be out in a couple of weeks. Under Par Golf Architect, another demo you played.
Yep.
We talked about this last episode.
Yep.
Kind of Golftopia, but a little less neon.
Yep.
And perhaps maybe a little more serious to an extent, while still having the whimsy of mini golf. Or golf.
I think so. Yeah.
Mouse, PI for hire. Last time we talked about this on an upcoming games list, it got delayed like 4 days later. So apparently that's coming out this month finally.
Yep.
It'll be just our fucking luck. This goes up today, and then fucking 3 days from now, oh, Mouse isn't gonna make it. We had to do some more balance check. Fuck. Syntopia. That another one you talked about because you played the demo. Yep. This was closer to Dungeon Keeper, sort of, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's like it's still a builder of sorts, but it's got where you go underground, and you got to under the ground is where you got to build the stuff to have not the enemies, not even characters, the zombie kind of workers just walk through it and get there. What you said, the queued up there. Oh, they're dead. That's right, they're dead. They're dead people. That's right. Yeah. So it's again another twist on that sort of standard concept and stuff like that. But you got more involvement in what happens to actually have the characters, the NPCs.
Which ones die? Which ones don't?
Which ones
what
don't?
Roles they fill?
Yeah, that sort of thing. So it's really again.
Is it both above and below? That is the building element,
no,
or is it just the below?
Just below, I think, from memory from the demo. Yeah.
So that is out on the 16th. Pragmata is out on the 17th. That I played the demo of that on stream a couple months ago. That was fucking phenomenal. I was super surprised at that. I was interested in that before I played it. Then I played the demo. I'm like, bam, auto buy, because it's basically Dead Space with a bit more hacking and a weird little girl on the back of a robot. Vampire Crawlers, the turbo wildcard from Vampire Survivors, is basically dungeon crawling, but Vampire Survivors and cards. This was on the Next Fest, but I'm like, I want to wait till it comes out to play it. So that'll be out on the 21st of April. Clockwork Ambrosia, which you got me to play on a checkout, the demo of. It's finally coming out. So we'll see how that lands. Outbound. All right, apparently the alpha came out last year, but it is out before the end of April. Kind of Pacific Drive, but a little bit obviously more light.
Yeah, probably more along the line of not really Pacific Drive, because there's no.
You're not building onto the car, perhaps.
Oh, you sort of are, but you're not doing. There's no jeopardy like there was in.
Yep.
There's no real jeopardy in that game, but in this one, but. Yeah, it's I think it could be good, but I think it all has the potential to could be boring. I think it's all going to come down to the variety of what you're doing in the building side of it. But it did seem kind of neat when I played it in the demo.
And how just intensive the building component is, because that's where I fell off of I Am Future. The resource gathering and all that stuff I was enjoying, because it's just walk around, look through drawers, yay. But the amount, just the sheer scope and amount of shit that could be built was like, oh god, I can't deal with this. Aphelion, which is the new game from Don't Nod, the developers of, I think, Life is Strange, and they've done some other stuff. They're telling an astronaut story, action-packed sci-fi adventure. So hopefully that sticks the landing.
Mhm.
Last two, Mini Tank Mayhem is basically, I think, this year's Tower Dominion.
Mhm.
I played this, the demo for this on stream a couple months ago, and I'm like, fuck yes, let's go. It does have cards, and you can lay different tanks and turrets and things like that down. Not as complex, maybe pathing-wise, as Tower Dominion was, but fuck, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. And last but certainly not least, the heavy-duty expansion for Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. The first new class added to Deep Rock Galactic. It's this heavy dude in like a tank with a digger on the front. How can that not be fucking incredible? So they're adding different mission types with this as well. There's going to be egg hunts. And you use the tractor tank thing to drive through the environment to do your mining.
Okay, yep.
So a reason to go back to that, because I still have a lot of goddamn content to play in that I haven't touched yet. Holy fuck. I only got like half of the 300 achievements. So and this is like just a sampling of the shit coming out in April. There's surprisingly enough, I don't know if this is a surprise to you, there's a lot of fucking games coming out.
So Airborne Empire is the game that you were talking about, and it's early access leaving on the 17th of April.
Oh, that is close.
So it is not
there
far
was
away.
one other game that I couldn't get the date on the IGDB sorted before we started. Golf 5 Max. Remember Super Video Golf?
Mm-hmm.
Basically that, but a little bit nicer looking.
Okay.
Sort of that old school classic 3-click swing golfing. And it looked really neat, but it didn't have a date on IGDB, and I edited it to put it in there, and it'll probably get accepted in like 3 days. That's, I think, this week as well, maybe next week. Whole lot of stuff, plus everything that's not here, because we could have made this about 5 times longer.
Well, this is the stuff we're interested in. So
yeah. Oh, I'm talking about stuff I'm interested in too. Anyway,
all right.
How about begin the end?
Yep.
Onward. There is a YouTube channel, which is quite likely where most people would be seeing this very video / podcast. If you are listening to the audio version, it is youtube.com/@shouldIPlayThisGame64. I think that's funnier. Or funny, either way. Twitch.tv/Enemy Starship is where I do the fun and silly things. Give us a follow over there. You'll get a notification when I go live. I'm on holidays, so there will be a couple of weeks where there'll be some holiday hangouts happening. And Friday Night Fun will start at 3 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock, because I'll actually be home rather than trying to drive home at 3 o'clock. Next week, likely to be back to Split Fiction.
I think so, yes. I don't see...
Unless something more interesting comes up.
Yeah, basically, yep.
What else?
I think it's about it.
Fuck it, eh? This has been episode 335 of the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 6th of April, 2026. Graham, thanks.
Been a pleasure.
It has? Cool. We'll be back with video stuff of some kind next week, and then a podcast in 2 weeks' time where you'll be able to hear about all the fun, wonderful video games I've played over the holidays. Hopefully more than just playing Neo 3 and some random incremental game, but we'll see. Thanks for hanging out. Cool. We'll see you on the next thing, whatever that might be. Come back in a couple of weeks for more podcast fun. Bye! You didn't say bye.
Bye.
There you go.